Once upon a time, in a small town, there lived a young boy named Abhinav. Abhinav was a bright and creative soul, yet he found himself increasingly overwhelmed by the challenges of daily life. The spark of enthusiasm that once lit up his eyes seemed dimmed by the growing shadows of his struggles. Recently, Abhinav had been grappling with the overwhelming pressure of school exams and the expectation to excel in every subject. He also faced difficulties in balancing his time between his studies and his passion for painting, which left him feeling exhausted and unable to enjoy what he once loved. These issues only deepened his sense of being stuck, pulling him further away from the vibrant, enthusiastic spirit he used to embody. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the living room, Abhinav's grandfather noticed the subtle change in his grandson's demeanor. With a gentle voice, he asked, "Abhinav, you seem distant these days. What weighs on your mind, my boy?" Abhinav hesitated, but eventually shared his feelings of frustration and defeat. Sensing a teaching moment, his grandfather leaned closer, a twinkle of wisdom in his eyes, and said, "Let me tell you a story about an elephant. Once upon a time, in the days of an ancient kingdom, there was a king with a noble herd of elephants. Among them was one particularly strong and skilled elephant who had accompanied the king into many battles. This elephant was not only powerful but deeply obedient, earning him a special place as the king's favorite. As years passed, the elephant grew old and could no longer sustain the rigors of war. Recognizing his loyal service, the king retired him with honor, sparing him from further battles. One peaceful day, the elderly elephant wandered to a nearby pond to drink, but tragically, his leg became ensnared in the mud deep within the waters. Despite his efforts, he was unable to free himself, and eventually, exhausted, he resigned to his fate. The elephant's absence was soon noticed, and the king's servants launched a frantic search. They eventually found him trapped and distressed. Word quickly spread, and a crowd, including the king, gathered in a futile attempt to rescue him. Despite their many efforts, all seemed hopeless. At that critical moment, Gautama Buddha happened to pass by. Learning of the plight, he approached the scene. The desperate king pleaded with Buddha, "O Lord, please help me rescue my favorite elephant, who has served me so loyally in many wars. I cannot bear to see his life end in such misery." Buddha observed the situation and then suggested, "Bring the drums and trumpets of war." The instruments were quickly fetched, and as their resounding beats filled the air, a remarkable change came over the elephant. Hearing the familiar sounds of battle, his spirits lifted. With renewed vigor, he trumpeted loudly, and to everyone's astonishment, freed himself from the mud. The crowd was amazed. "Is this a miracle?" they asked. Buddha replied, "There was never a lack of strength in the elephant. He merely needed motivation. Removed from the wars he was accustomed to, he lost his will. The drums and trumpets rekindled his fighting spirit, enabling him to escape the mud on his own." As the story concluded, Abhinav's eyes reflected a renewed light. His grandfather's words echoed in his heart. Often in life, we lose our enthusiasm and become ensnared by our troubles. It's crucial to remember the times we've overcome adversity. Draw strength from those memories. Rekindle your spirit, and you will find your way out of any difficulty. Never let despair take hold. Maintain a positive attitude and keep pushing forward. With a smile, Abhinav nodded, feeling the weight of his worries lighten. "Thanks, Grandpa. I think I needed that reminder," he said. "And remember," his grandfather added, "just like the elephant, you have the strength within you to rise above any challenge. All you need is a little reminder of your own capabilities." Have you ever felt like Abhinav? Share your experiences in the comments below and let us know how you've overcome your challenges. Remember, keep pushing forward and never let despair take hold. Keep watching for more stories that light up your spirit. If you found this story inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe